Good morning. My name is Jason Thompson. I'm the president and CEO of Bridge Advisory. We are a multi-issuer wholesaling firm that works in the private capital markets. And one of our favorite clients is Crystal Creek Homes. We have Justin Bobier, founder and president of Crystal Creek, on the call today to offer some management commentary around their Q3 investment report that just went out to all of the mutual fund trust investors. Now, this is a companion piece for that. This isn't going into all of the detail of what's in the report. We definitely do encourage you to read through the report. There's a lot of great information in here. But we wanted to take a few minutes to chat with Justin about what has been going on over the last little while. As you'll notice, I have a bit of a scratchy voice right now. I'm fighting my second big cold of the fall. This is the second time I've lost my voice in about 2 months. So I'm going to let Justin do most of the talking, but hopefully we'll be able to muddle through here and still give you guys some good insight and information. So Justin, in Q3, you saw some pretty important milestones. We saw the NAV grow, we saw some projects exit, and I know you have some exciting new projects coming online as well. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about what came to be in the last quarter here, and then what also you're seeing over the next quarter moving towards the start of next year?
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Jason, and thanks for getting through that intro. I know that it's never fun when when we're not feeling 100%. But yeah, it was a fantastic Q3 for Crystal Creek Homes. Within our fund, we saw the net asset grow from $1.04 to $1.06, which is positive and moving in the right direction. In addition to paying out our 9% distribution to all of our investors. So, from a fund perspective, it felt really good. But I think on top of that, there's some other underlying indicators that have given us a lot of optimism. In the start of the year, not only Crystal Creek Homes, but pretty much most of the Calgary market and Edmonton, for that matter, really saw decimation of our sales budgets, if you will. Most builders were at 50% or less of their sales budgets, and this is directly related to tariffs and the election. Anytime there's political instability, we see a real drop in sales. And what we would typically see is a really slow July and August. A lot of our clients are away. And this year we had some pretty aggressive targets from a sales budget perspective for July, August. And, I was very pleased to see that we were 100% of our sales budget in July, 100% in August, and 85% we hit our target in September. October is just finishing for us, and we're just over 100% for October. So I think part of that, what we see is some leading indicators, which traffic in our sales centers was really down at the beginning of the year. And for whatever reason, if nobody decided to leave this summer or get out there and finally, get into our sales centers and whatnot, we saw traffic really, really uptick in June, and that led into our July success and August success. And we see traffic currently really quite high. That kind of goes along with MLS activity that we see right now, which, it's lower inventory. And I know when I was out in Ontario this weekend, and, a lot of people were saying, man, real estate's going down. That must be a bad investment. And it's just so interesting to see the diversification of Alberta versus the rest of the country and some of the sentiment that we're seeing here. But it was some exciting things that happened in this quarter. We have a new community that's coming on called Tza, which has really been, when we take a look at that sales pace that we've had at Crystal Creek Homes, and we look at the rest of our competitors, it's really because of some of the communities that we're involved in, and Tza being one. I mean, we've absolutely hit it out of the park in Tza. It was exciting with one of our other projects, Pine Summit. We had our show home grand opening at the end of September. We saw over 200 groups come through on the weekend, which, when our competitors are sometimes seeing 5 and 6 groups on a weekend, to see that kind of activity really points to desirable location, something that is meeting the target audience, and people want to come out and see it. It's that anticipation that has been building and that urgency that we've created. Um, and I guess one of the things that was really nice this quarter in September, we were recognized by our peers as part of the from the Build Association, and we won for an award for top single family home. It was a model called the Dalton that we built in Quarry Park. And of course, for those that aren't aware, you take a bunch of pictures, you send them in. Everybody, tips their hat to find out what category they're in as a finalist. And we were really fortunate to be awarded the winner, and that is voted on by our competitors, our peers in the industry. And so, really nice to be recognized for that. And, it just goes to our marketing to be able to say that, when you're buying with Crystal Creek Homes, you're buying with an award-winning builder. That allows us to get top dollar for our homes. And in relation to our investors, it allows that margin to flow through to our investors within the fund. Some of the other exciting things that happened this last quarter, we're so fortunate to be the recipient of the builder that builds the home hospital lottery. And so that opened in early September this year. It's a fantastic 5,200 square foot, $3.3 million home that we had a ton of people come out, including clients. Some investors came out, some of our professional trade partners. So it was a really fun event to launch to the public. I believe we had over 300 people there that evening. And of course, that just leads again to increased sales in that area. And just a sense of credibility to be involved with such a wonderful charity. Um, with the success of Tazah that I said that we had an opportunity to see from the sales side, as well, our staff got to take part in something new, which was called a groundbreaking blessing. As part of the Tsuut'ina Nation, it's really important for them to bless a project, and we got to be a part of that ceremony. It was absolutely fantastic and quite different than what we've had in terms of other launches of communities. So we got to go out there, do a few drone shots, take part in the blessing. And so it was really quite special for Crystal Creek Homes to be partnered with the Tsuut'ina Nation in taking part in that. Um, some of the challenges that we had through this quarter were the weather. We had an incredibly wet summer in Calgary. We had our fantastic Stampede that is always well attended. But right after that, the skies opened up and started raining, and we didn't see it stop for about 4 weeks. Although that doesn't hamper construction a ton, it does hamper it, but not a ton. It really affects us on the excavation and our developer partners. And as those developer partners are trying to bring on land for us, we've certainly seen a delay, and that will be affecting us in terms of what we thought was coming on versus what is actually coming on. So we were able to get through that wet season, and nice that we've been able to do that. And of course, here in Calgary, we don't see the rain very often, and so when we do, I think we almost prefer snow to rain, to be honest, because we could deal with that. Um, yeah, so it's been a busy quarter. We saw the end of a couple of our projects, Belvedere 2, Aspen 4, and Curry 3 actually came to an end. All of those projects have, of course, recorded profitability and were able to contribute to the mutual fund as an investor. Investors are doing very well within the fund this year to date. And of course, this goes to the success of some of those types of projects. Of course, that doesn't mean that there's nothing coming. There's lots of projects in the pipeline, and we probably have more in the pipeline right now because of our recent success than we've had in the past. And so one of the projects that's going to be coming on is a project called Heritage Crossing. We're excited about that. And that is something that is in our pipeline and, we'll see in the future. as well as other projects that we're really working on that are a year to two out, quite honestly. But we're really seeing a lot of anticipated development here in Calgary in terms of the communities we're involved in, which is really nice to see because I know some of my competitors are struggling when it comes to that. And so it's nice that our reputation in the industry is being heard and that's paying dividends. Um,
Justin,
yes,
I noticed one key thing in the quarterly report that I think is really worth mentioning, and that's that since the beginning of this year, the mutual fund trust has doubled in size.
yes.
We've gone from $4.4 million to $8.8 million of invested capital just through the first 3 quarters of this year. As the fund continues to grow and scale, what does that do for you as a company? What does it do for investors in terms of the scale, the pipeline, the opportunity, the types of projects that you're able to take on when you're able to grow the amount of capital available at your disposal that way?
I mean, what's nice about the fund is, the fact that we do have a pipeline of projects, and that, as we create more capital within the fund, we can be pickier with the projects that we commit to. And as well, we can really start to zone in on having that capital available, which is really important for developers when we're part of our negotiations with them. Of course, it is always paramount that we protect investor capital, using trust accounts anytime that we, are committing to projects with lawyers. But what we've seen is a real uptick in our opportunities. Not all the opportunities are great, but along with that comes really great opportunities that we're securing right now that are a year or two out into the future. But of course, as we rely on that capital coming in from the mutual fund trust, it's been incredible. And I think just in general, investors are starting to see the fund take off, if you will, and see those investment returns. And of course, there's nothing better than referrals from our clients. And that really seems to be driving the bus, especially here locally.
That's tremendous. Yeah, the fund has definitely been performing. Again, since the beginning of the year, we've seen the NAV grow by about 10%. It's a little more than 10% since the start of the year. It obviously continues to pay those distributions on a quarterly basis out to investors, which are still set at that 9% annualized distribution rate. So it's been a very high performing investment, especially this year. Last year was a great year as well. So we've seen a couple of years of sustained success and upward trajectory in the fund. I think people are going to be very, very happy with this as an investment moving forward. And we talked at length in one of the most recent podcasts about the impact of a vehicle like this in the local community as far as job creation, as far as economic output that comes out of the construction industry, partnering with a company like Crystal Creek that employs so many people and indirectly employs so many more through the trade partners and everything else that you work with. It's a really significant investment into our own local economy. I think that's something that really resonates with a lot of investors here in Canada these days as well.
No, thank you, Jason. It has been a successful quarter from a Crystal Creek perspective, which was a nice turnaround from Q1 and Q2, where, as I said, we did see certainly a hit to our sales budget, and it looks like we're recovering from that now and with the leading indicators, and things are looking good for next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the other thing to point out is that while Crystal Creek may have better quarters and slower quarters from a sales pace, that's something that through the diversification of the fund, the investors don't necessarily feel. We saw strong growth in all 3 quarters this year. So the investors, by being well diversified, having projects at different uh, mile markers as they go through different levels of progression. There's some early projects that are just getting off the ground, some more established that are just winding up. And between the diversification of those and then also the multifamily assets that are held in the fund, there is some real strong diversification that provides consistent, stable returns. So thank you so much for your time, Justin. I think that was really insightful. I'm sure the viewers are going to enjoy hearing your insights. Please do read the full Q3 report. Thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate your time. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share before we sign off?
I'd just like to thank all of the dealing reps and their clients for the trust that they're putting into Crystal Creek Homes. It means a lot to me personally, and we always look forward to exceeding expectations, setting the bar low, and then being able to exceed that. And so, again, thank you for all the support that we've received, and looking forward to that support continuing in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Justin. And yes, as mentioned, if you've been introduced to Crystal Creek through a dealing representative that you already have, feel free to reach out to them. They have all of the most current information as well. Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you, Justin. We will sign off, and I'm going to go drink some tea. All right.
Thank
Have a great day.